Hi, my name is Joanna Zieger. I am one of the co-authors of the late-breaking abstract Cannabis Attitudes and Patterns of Use among members of the Allergy and Asthma Network. In the U.S., cannabis use is increasing in the general populations and also in disease populations due to increased legalization. There's also perceived benefit to combat symptoms of pain, insomnia, and anxiety. Cannabis use has been poorly studied in allergic asthmatic patients. This is a group with whom route of administration could have broad adverse effects. Smoking and vaping cannabis in this population could lead to increased symptoms of cough and wheeze, as well as increased use of asthma medications and exacerbations of their disease. However, short-term use of cannabis can act as a bronchodilator or cause coughing and wheezing, whereas long-term use could cause increased respiratory symptoms. The rationale for this study was to determine cannabis patterns of use in patients with asthma and allergies recruited via AAN due to lack of information regarding cannabis use in this population. We obtained approval through Solutions IRB. AAN members who were 18 years old or older completed an anonymous survey online on patterns of cannabis use and knowledge and attitudes about cannabis, as well as their disease burden. The asthma control test was used to determine control of asthma. Chi-square, cluster analysis, and factor analysis were performed. 88 of the 489 respondents used cannabis in the past 2 weeks, what we call current cannabis use, and this is 18% of the total population. Of the 489 respondents, the majority were less than 50 years old, they were female, and they were Caucasian. Of non-cannabis users, 2.5% reported cannabis allergy. A cluster analysis revealed that a liberal attitude toward cannabis was observed in 95.5% of current cannabis users, compared to 59.2% of former users and 28.6% of never users. And this was significant at p less than 0.001. Of the current cannabis users, 26.1% reported that they primarily use cannabis for medical purposes, 34.1% said they used it for recreational purposes, and 39.8% said that they used it for both recreational and medical purposes. 33% of the cannabis users reported using THC, 19.3% said they used CBD, and 47.7% said they used both THC and CBD. 53.4% of current cannabis users reported smoking cannabis, and 35.2% said that they vaped cannabis. 58% of current cannabis users have current asthma, and of these, 39.2% said that they had uncontrolled asthma. And of these, 50% smoked cannabis. Coughing was associated with smoking cannabis, as 31.9% of smokers and 4.9% of non-smokers reported cough with cannabis use, and this was significant at p less than 0.001. 40.9% of physicians inquired about cannabis use, and only 37.5% of respondents wanted to discuss cannabis with their physicians. Among current cannabis users, the most common positive effects from cannabis use were helps with sleep, less pain, calms me down, and decreased anxiety. The most common negative effects from cannabis use were increased appetite, anxiety, coughing, and difficulty concentrating. And you can see from the percentages listed that the positive effects from cannabis use were greater than the adverse effects from cannabis use. In conclusion, a minority of AAN respondents currently use cannabis. Half of current cannabis users with uncontrolled asthma reported smoking cannabis. A minority of allergists inquire about cannabis use. A minority of patients actually want to discuss cannabis with their allergist. Positive effects were more common than adverse effects. We would like to thank the AAN for their support for this research. Thank you very much.